they can go ahead and start there and then build around that. But, you know, both games as well, like I said, Delar had a little bit of a more kind of action-packed hero where he could make these plays or these setups. And if that happens, then great. Bans, though, so far, you know, the Navari and the CC being taken out by Burmese Ghouls is a great step also in the right direction, dealing with that. And, you know, for RRQ Hoshi, they're going to be like, you know, we're going to focus on this utility jungle. We don't want to deal with that right now. And we'll see if they actually go still that way with these last bans in this first phase. What are we thinking here, Kim?
Looking at BG here is you can kind of see the impact of the CC, right? I mean, I'm not so sure if Delar's very comfortable with this hero, but looking at this hero pool, it was more of those heroes that can be a bit more mobile, can take care of itself. I mean, he's the general after all, so he can has to be the one to like lead the charge in the XP lane. And for Burmese Ghouls, I think for RRQ Hoshi, they have a good idea of like banning away these utility type of heroes that Saxa has been so good at picking up. Last ban is going to be the Matilda here that still I think it should be permanently on the ban list with the how much shields it can give, and at the same time how much mobility it can give to the entire team. And Burmese Ghouls, like what you mentioned, Nice, who it is going to be your first pick here for the side of Burmese Ghouls. Again, I cannot confirm if this is going to be in the jungle. A good flex pick here coming out from Burmese Ghouls, but for RRQ Hoshi, they can kind of shake things up here, kind of answer out to the Guinevere, maybe pick up you know, the Ruby, or at the same time pick up the Claude that Burmese Schools actually prioritize in the first game.
And there it is, right? I mean, I know I disappeared for a second. I heard everything you said there, though, Kim. But the Guinevere popping up, I think that's a great choice. You kind of play around that now. And like I said, you said this too, go back to some of that, that foundation that you have. And the recipe for success is, you know, even yesterday. But I feel like still you got to be able to answer. There it is, the Nana was open. So it's probably most likely going to be taken once again for RRQ as they do that. And this time too, they go with the Claude themselves. So this could be something where it's like, all right, Burmese Ghouls, do they actually want to go with that similar matchup? Like, do they want to lock in the Bruno, you know, and deal with, it's a flip side type thing, and they could build around that. I think this is still, though, so far, let's see what these next two picks are going to be for Burmese Ghouls, but I just like the fact that they at least went with the Guinevere, because although we did see it twice even yesterday, giving them the success, they could still flex it. Like, there's still room for that. Paquito comes up too. It's just like I was saying,
That's what I was
Kim,
waiting for.
Go to what worked for them yesterday, and try that here. There's the Bruno. So this is looking very similar to if you guys caught game 2 of yesterday against Twisted Minds. I think it was a very quick game. It was like 12 minutes. And they had the Guinevere Bruno. Paquito, I think they had a Grok as well. And I think they had Valentina, if I remember right. So the Grok was there, and, you know, it's... We'll see if that happens, but they're going back to that foundation we were talking about here.
Yeah, the Paquito here and the Guinevere. I just want to say that this is really confusing right now, especially for, let's say, some of the people who just come in. They're pretty new to the meta. Nico has actually flexed this Paquito in the group stage twice, back-to-back games in the mid lane. I mean, not only can Delar do that split push, Nico can also do the exact same thing. He was a menace to the team that they were going up against. I think that was Lil Gun that they've gone up against in the group stage. And Nico's Paquito was really deadly, like hiding in the bush, getting in those single target pickoffs with his ultimate, and is able to delete, like pretty much like the Nana, I can delete you out of the map. So I still can't tell like if this lineup of Burmese Schools is like is it a Paquito Delar or is it a Nico Paquito, things like that. But for RRQ Hoshi right now, they have this lineup that's packed with like burst, so they need someone to front line. They pick up the Ruby here again. I still don't know if this is going to be a Brusco hero or a Banana hero. I think they might adjust depending on what Burmese Schools will pick up here for their last two picks.
Yeah, there's I'm wondering if RRQ Hoshi even wants to ban out the Valentina. They might not go that route and just let it slip through, because I could see also if it is a Delar Paquito, right, and then you take the Valentina for Burmese Ghouls, you actually can take the Ruby ultimate, the I'm offended, and use it. We've seen that happen before, but obviously too, just having the Nana available to you, having that Melina Blitz is also quite devastating when you have a Guinevere there. And like you mentioned already, Paquito, one of the great things about it is you put the pressure of getting that passive from Nana down really quickly, because it's like, you know, couple hits and that's the thing about her, right? She's kind of squishy. So they don't go that route. They do take out the Grok, which was, again, in this lineup that they have, very similar, being built up to what they did yesterday. Grok was one of the components to this lineup for Burmese Ghouls. And so they decide to take that out and leave that Valentina open for now. And Burmese Ghouls is up to their last ban. So we'll see how that falls into place. But you know, I'm sitting here thinking for RRQ Hoshi, based on the fact that they just have this Ruby, how do they want to build up the XP lane, you know, specifically? Because if it is a Paquito across from them, Arlot's going to be taken out. I was going to say Arlot, or even maybe they go with a Lapu Lapu if they want to have some more setup potential and pair up with the Ruby here. But now that the second phase of the bans are done, we'll see where this kind of falls into place here for RRQ.
Yeah, I'm looking at the draft here of both sides so far. They've already taken away all of the options here. Even got all sides covered by taking out the Grok, like just kind of anticipating that might be another thing that the Burmese Ghouls might pull off here in this you know, match point for RRQ. I like how they have the burst here for RRQ Hoshi. Burmese Ghouls has that in the form of the Guinevere here. Still thinking, what else do we have here? They still, sometimes these drafts can get pretty confusing because you still don't know who's gonna go where. But now RRQ Hoshi, they lock in this Fredrin here, which is actually a very good front line for these burst damage dealers. I think this might be I'm thinking like this might be a Brusco hero. Like this would be so good up against like a Burmese Ghouls' lineup. Like having that Ruby just roam all around the map can be really, really hard for heroes like the Guinevere and the Paquito here. Still not confirmed where it's going to be going. I like the Valentina choice here. Could be a great pickup. But, and again, there's so many good ultimates here from the side of RRQ, which kind of gets you thinking, which one did you pick up, right? Is it going to be the Melina Blitz of the Nana? Is it the I Am Offended? Or is it even the Blazing Duet here of the Claude? I think the Valentina would still be good here.
How do you feel about Aurora? Is this a place
kind of hard though to go up against the Fredrin though. Yeah, I think I prefer the Valentina. Okay. I prefer the Valentina. I mean, the Aurora is great though, but it can't burst down the tanky front line here of RRQ. So I like this coming out from Burmese Ghouls. It's kind of going back to what they're known for, and here it is. So is this a... Oh, okay. So it is going to be... Yeah, it's going to be a Roam Guinevere here. And then that's going to be a Baksha in the jungle.
Yep. And that's what I was saying. Like, when that was locked in the first time, like, there was the flex available, right? And they kind of left that open because the Grok was taken out. So they kind of adjust from there. They pick up the Baksha, you know, just assuming, you know, we might as well fight utility for utility in the jungle and kind of try to win some of those objective fights, those dances. The Minotaur is going to be locked in once again. This is very tanky for RRQ Hoshi, right?
Yeah.
And they could find themselves in a position that Burmese Ghouls was in the previous game, right? Where, again, you're really waiting for this Claude to scale up, get the items that he needs. But that's where I feel like Nana shines, right? I mean, that's why she's picked up so much, because the early damage potential is very threatening. So the fact that you have a Valentina now is actually going to put you up to par with that, not to mention just having Terrify in her kit as well, kind of helping around the kind of early skirmishes that will happen here. And you have to respect her damage as well. So this is a lot better. Like, I like the Valentina a lot better than the Faramis. I know Faramis, you know, some people will be like, oh, you can build them in a certain way, pick up a certain emblem, and you could have great damage on a Faramis. Yeah, you could, but, you know, I like this better because it also goes back to what they did yesterday in one of their quickest games, 12 minutes. And just like we saw in the previous game, it was a very quick game from RRQ Hoshi. So I feel like the pieces here to this puzzle for the Burmese Ghouls is exactly what they need. So jumping into the game at Land of Dawn, game number 2 here. We're still on your screens. There it is.
I was going to say, we are going to be jumping in too.
So game 2 already. Early action as well. But yeah, anything standing out of the ordinary here for you, Kim?
Well, in the emblems, nothing too out of the ordinary here, I would say. The spells, though, you got the Purify from the Brutal. Again, that's going to be crucial too, especially since RRQ has all of these setups, right? You got the Minoan's Rage from, Minoan's Fury rather from Brusco. You also got Bananas, I Am Offended. Not to mention the Blazing Duet too from the Claude. It's not going to be easy for Stitch though, but I think if they go the route here of being aggressive early on, which is kind of what they're doing right now here up against RRQ Hoshi.
Oh, yeah, already. Saksa going to take some damage, but again, these are, you know, very tanky heroes that don't have a ton of damage right now, so no one going to go down. Still a lot of CC potential, though. Brusco should be fine as well. And one thing that's great about the Minotaur, especially later on when he kind of rushes that Flask of the Oasis, it is tough to deal with, but hold on. Brusco could be the one in trouble as he's going to go down to first blood. Now Arad in trouble as well. 2 kills now for Burmese Ghouls. Exactly what they need here in game 2, Kim.
Yeah, level 4-2 going to be attained here by the Valentina in just a bit. I like how they picked this up too compared to the Aurora that you kind of mentioned, which is also still good. But the Valentina can scale up really well care of her passive, right? Like she can scale up to level 4 right before a major objective like the Turtle, which is really good, right? You need all of these great ultimates to pick up. Right now, it's all up to Nico whether you want to pick up that Minotaur's ultimate or whether even if you want to go for Octa's ultimate here would be great. Burmese Ghouls started out real strong. Now they're looking to take in this first Turtle game, and so far RRQ after that those first 2 pickoffs actually, they're kind of having a hard time here.
They knew he was there. Brusco once again going to be the focus. They forget the Turtle for now. They want to get the kills here. The pull comes through. Irad could be in trouble, but look at the response. Now Blink has to get out of there. He's the one to fall from Octa. Now still going to be fighting it out for more. Arad the one to fall, still bloodied here. 1 HP. Banana trying to get away, but it's Nico that falls. It's a double for Saksa. But RRQ gets on the board. But now they still might try to stop Burmese Ghouls from getting this Turtle if they can. Brusco not having that level 4 just yet. Take a look at the replay. They might be able to just get that Turtle. Keep an eye on that. It looks like they do. But this was a great play here from both teams. I mean, a lot of response back and forth. But yeah, the Turtle is taken here by Burmese Ghouls.
Yeah, I like the clap back there of RRQ. They kind of like, okay, you know what? Burmese Ghouls is going full aggressive. They actually went in for the full aggression too. Brusco actually flickered out there.
Oh.
What's really hard here too for the side of Burmese Ghouls is like the tanky front line. Like we're starting to see the damage coming out from the Nana, which we'll see even more later on. Like 2 kills already for Octa here, which is kind of something that Burmese Ghouls have to watch out for, especially in these clashes. Even here on the top side, we have to check the laning phase here of Stitch and Skylar. And so far, Skylar has been doing well up against this Bruno, as compared to earlier. Like a lot of poke here coming out from both of our marksmans.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here, though. I saw Saksa rolling in.
Yep.
Still hungry for it, though. They should be able to protect him. Good rotation and response from RQ. Right now, also, the fact that I don't know if they still want to put the pressure here, but like you mentioned, Octa having those 2 kills early on will help him scale up pretty well. He does just have that magic penetration for currently the arcane boots, but he'll still be working around building up. And it looks like Burmese Ghouls still wants to put the pressure here in the top side. Irad going to spot Blink out. Trying to get a little bit of extra gold here for Stitch, but ultimately resulting in nothing for now.
Yeah, you see how Burmese Ghouls also positioned themselves over on the top side, right? Kind of anticipating that RRQ Hoshi might actually create some pressure here up against Stitch. As long as he's fine, right? As long as he's able to get in his first 2 items, that should be good. Which is actually pretty much what the Burmese Ghouls has been doing so far here. 4 minutes in, they've been taking all of the turtles, and not to mention, like I want to point out that Saksa has been getting all of the kills too, which is really good for a Baksha here in the early game. If you think about it, it's not easy, right? To have this Baksha. You got the Nana. You got all of these frontliners. You got the taunt from the Fredrin, so it's not going to be easy to go up against them. But for Burmese Ghouls, as long as they can keep this up against RRQ, have this early take-ons onto the turtles, winning in all of these clashes, they should be okay. You see Nico actually popping in.
Wow.
With the Nana, but it's going to be Irad actually stealing it away.
Yeah. And Delar still wants some more, though. He's the one to flicker her in. Now has to continue the fight. Nico jumps in as well, trying to find him back, but on the run, Appraiser's Wrath comes down. Octa flickers in. Delar somehow still alive, but Banana goes in. and gets the kill. Still going to be looking for more. They find Blink as well. RRQ able to find 2 kills. When really, I mean, Burmese Ghouls, they didn't have to go for that.
Yeah, for the side of Burmese Ghouls, I think RRQ Hoshi knew that they're going to be aggressive. They kind of answered out to their aggression. Stitch in trouble here. Man, it's not easy. You got all these 3 heroes to add up to the burst that they have. And now, RRQ Hoshi right now, a little bit aggressive, going to the jungle side of the Burmese Ghouls.
Yeah. Okay, Nico not going to be able to connect on his own I'm offended, but Brusco now taking the brunt of the damage. Still, will he be able to get away? He doesn't as Blink gets the kill. So still, a lot of back and forth here from both teams. Kim, economically though, it's pretty much even with all the action here, and now it's the 5-5 even across the board.
Yeah, if the economy is kind of equal, what you kind of take a look at is, do they have the map control? How's their gold laner doing? And so far for RRQ, this is what they did in the last game, right? Getting in that map control is so vital for them, even though they didn't really win those early game trades up against Burmese Ghouls. They managed to be able to take in the space. And mind you, this is a Claude you're talking about. Blink, gonna try to go in for banana here.
Oh, he's actually okay. He is not going to be able to get away. Great setup once again. Spatial migration into the Requiem. Able to get a kill now on the bottom side. They're going to focus here. Putting the pressure still. Like you were mentioning, you know, you have to look at who has this kind of advantage, right? And space-wise, yeah, it's RRQ. They've got 2 turrets. Burmese Ghouls, though, they don't care right now. And they're going to be making their way to this next objective, the turtle. If they can secure this one, it'll help them just a little bit deal with this. But right now, look at this. RRQ doesn't want to go ahead and just give this away. They want to fight for it and get this positioning. Burmese Ghouls getting the first turret of the game for themselves here on the top side with Delar doing the work. But nothing committing just yet. They're going to back off. Sox are going in with the rest of the team. Nico has the I'm offended himself. Goes in right for Brusco. Brusco waiting for the team to come in. Delar goes in. 1-2 punch. Gets the kill. And Brusco out of the picture here. Now down a member. Burmese Ghouls for the taking for this turtle. Unless RRQ Hoshi can do something.
Yeah, like what Delar did there too. He's actually going to recall back to the base after taking in that turret, and joining in the side of Burmese Ghouls here kind of adds up to the burst damage that they had. Not only do they get it in the form of like Blink here with the Guinevere, but with Delar actually joining in the fights, it's actually pretty good here for Burmese Ghouls. But Delar also understands that he kind of needs to take back the space that RRQ Hoshi has been taking, and so far he's doing in the split push pretty much what the Burmese Ghouls has been doing even in the group stage. Here comes the last turtle though.
Blink could be in trouble here. Skylar going in with Blazing Duet, gonna force him back. Irad able to get the turtle though off of it. So they're happy with it. Delar able to get the next turret down in the bottom side. So trade at cross-map objectives for now. Was that worth it? Is that the good call for Burmese Ghouls here, Kim?
I think it's a point that Burmese Ghouls kind of understands that RRQ Hoshi, yeah, okay, they've been taking in, they've been winning in all of these team fights so far. So Delar, I like what he's doing, and this was what he has been doing even in the group stage, right? Creating the space for Burmese Ghouls, and you really need this, especially in the current meta that everybody really loves to go for team fights, and sometimes you don't even notice it. You don't really have that space in the map. It's gonna be harder to go for those team fights, especially like once these turrets are down, you kind of have to send someone back in, so it's going to be like -1 when it comes to the team fight. So not only do you have to join in the team fights, you have to get the map control too here for the side of Burmese Ghouls, which is what Delar has been doing so far here for the side of Burmese Ghouls.
Yep, and with that, right, this the main thing is building up enough time for this thing for Skylar here. Now, once again in the mid lane, they want to go ahead and duke it out. Brusco taking a ton of damage, goes in with a jump, gets the Manoan Fury as well, but look at the backside. Nico's going to be the one to fall, and now Irad holding Stitch back, Blink trying to help him out. Skylar now joined the fight, Appraiser's Wrath going to come down, and Stitch that falls there in the jungle. So RRQ clapping back, looking for Delar. He's on the run. Into the jungle he goes. Banana going to stick to him, cancels him out from the dash, and still going. Might even get the kill there in the solo, but also looking at the replay here, look at how this unfolded. Not sure, he's actually still in the chase there, by the way, on the live cam, but what a setup and what a play here from RRQ. Oh, they're gonna get him.
Burmese Ghouls.
It looks like they're getting him.
Oh, yep.
Delar, you tried.
There it goes. Yep. Well, he was successful though. He was able to take down that second tier tower there on the bottom side. And if you look at the goal too, like it seems like RRQ Hoshi is managing pretty well up against the Burmese Ghouls here, but it's not that far of a gold lead. It's 1,000, yeah, 1,000 gold lead at least here for the side of RRQ. If they manage to take this Lord, this should be at least a little bit more space for them to take in at least all of the second tier towers here for Burmese Ghouls. Again, the space for their side, and not to mention, like if you look at Skylar's stats, 203 on this Claude, you saw in that last replay that he was already shredding apart all these tanky front lines that the Burmese Schools had with just one Blazing Duet.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, this is where you want to be. 11 minutes in, you're quite beefy on this Claude here for Skylar, and it's showing, right? A lot of the times, even if Brusco was out there, you know, some people might be like, oh, Brusco, what are you doing? But a lot of the times he's actually able to be a nuisance so much on this Minotaur that he's able to get a lot of resources out, and then Skylar able to shine later on with the setups. And of course, that's just how it's been so far. But now that they're playing around this Lord here, you can see Delar's still putting the pressure on the top side.
Yep.
He picks up the Malefic Roar. He's gonna go ahead and try to get that, but there's the tier 2 going down in the mid lane. Irad keeping Soxa there at bay. They might want to respond to this. If he still gets to that base, it looks like Skylar is going to go back. Lord is going to get worked on, though, but not the mid turret in the base, half health. Now Delar might be making his way to cut them off here. Conceal play going to be used as well, but it gets spotted out for now. They don't commit. So again, Delar is just trying to find what he can here, Kim.
Now it seems like this was the same case. Like this Paquito seems to be a staple choice here for the Burmese Ghouls, not only for Delar. There was also a time in the group stage that this was the thing that Nico has been doing. And taking a look at the items here so far, it is going to be, wow, Skylar at least leading in terms of a gold lead here right now. 9,700, nearing already 10,000. That is way far from what Stitch has. 1-2-0 on the Bruno. He's already gotten that Wind of Nature too, just in case he gets picked off here or gets into like a head-to-head here with Delar. Having that Wind of Nature is going to be crucial in the team fights.
It's going to be clutch, right? That's what that's going to be. And like I said, when Claude gets to this point, you have these 4 specific items locked in. It's really tough to deal with because you also got to catch him, right? The way that he's going to use that BMI to kind of get out of some of these situations. Octa picking up a Divine Glaive as well. Minoyan Fury with the flicker combination goes through. Look at them getting whittled down. Sox could be in trouble. There's the knock-up, though, and he's able to get her out with the BMI. Now Sox are the one to fall into the jungle. Delar trying to get the punches off here, but he's got to respect the damage. I'm offended, not going to connect. And they might still just pull it back. Still 30 seconds away from this Lord, but RRQ finds a kill.
Yeah, the swing of the gold too from 38K for the side of RRQ. Then it swooped all the way up to like a 4,000 gold lead right now, just with that one shutdown onto Soxa, which is exactly why RRQ was willing to commit that clash. Like Soxa was right in the middle, Skylar having that insane amount of burst, plus Octa too. So it's not gonna be easy for a Baksha to just roll in when you have the Molina onto him. Actually, if you take a look at the replay, you might actually catch it. He gets in that Minoan sphere from Brusco, and at the same time, it really set things up here for both Octa and Skylar to just free hit him. Now, it's gonna be the first enhanced Lord of the game. 14 minutes in, RRQ Hoshi gonna be starting it up.
Let's see, Burmese Ghouls, do they actually want to try to pull something off? Soxa could come down to it. Nico holding on to that Ruby ultimate once again. RQ knows what's up. Delar also positioning here. They're going to have to go for it. Praiser's Wrath going to come down. Irad able to secure it, though. Gets the Lord. And now Sox left to his own. Will fall into the river. Now Blink in trouble. Gets I'm Offended combination here. Flickers on out. Delar couldn't do anything but watch. And Soxa's the one to fall. RQ ready to make the power play.
Oh, I like the attempt there of Soxa to try and steal in with the Lord. Roll in and click that Retribution. But I think Burmese Ghouls kind of was trying to go for maybe possibly a split push. Like if you look at that particular moment when Soxa was going to try to go in, like you see Delar and Stitch going to try to make a move on that mid lane, but it's a little bit too late now because Enhanced Lord for the side of RRQ, they can take all of the inhibitors here. They don't have a good amount of burst to take down the front line.
Yeah.
But here comes Irad.
Irad gonna get he's going to get pulled. He has the immortality, but there's the Maneuver Fury going to be jumped in. Look at the damage, though, coming out from Skylar. Able to get the kill on Saksa. Brusco is the one to fall from Delar, though, so it's a 1-for-1 for now. Can they hold it together? Blink going to be able to jump in. Takes quite a bit of damage himself. The flicker comes through, and he's keeping him at bay. Lord finally going to go down. Nico has to run out of there, buy some time, some space, but he ultimately dies, and they hold on to a sliver of health on this turret for a little bit longer. Delar trying to keep the minion at bay. Man, Banana jumps in, finds the connection, but look at the damage from Delar. The 1-2 punch isn't enough to get the kill, though. And now RRQ looking to end the game, looking to end the series here. Can they do it? 3 down for Burmese Ghouls. It looks like they're going to take the disciplined route here, Kim, and back off for now.
Yeah, if they overcommit there, they could have been punished there by Stitch, who also has almost all the items that a marksman needs, right, in the late game. And by this time, like 16 minutes in mid to late game, everybody has what they need to be able to go up against your opponents. But what RRQ Hoshi has here, as compared to Burmese Ghouls, is the burst damage. You've seen it in the Nana. That was like 2 hits onto Saksa. Yeah. He also has the Athena's shield there. So even Dao wasn't able to counter it out. And not to mention, I just noticed his emblem here right now. That additional burn that you get when you pop in your skills from that emblem from Okta. So kind of really hard for the tanky frontline here of Burmese Ghouls. They're going to have to rely on Stitch here and even Blink. Then again, same case from what they had in game number 1. Great solid front line, but no one to kind of answer out to the back line here of RRQ Hoshi, because Delar's busy pushing, right? Delar's busy pushing. There's no one to take down the Nana, no one to take down Skylar, who is also very mobile here as a Claude.
When you're looking at RRQ Hoshi here, Skylar 3-0-7, Octa 4-0-8, it's tough to deal with, like that kind of damage, because it's kind of like, even if you're trying to get them down, you have to work through the passive, you have to work through a BMI and a Wind of Nature. Like there's so many things to fall through, not to mention get through that front line, right? The front line, not to mention the peels available with a Ruby or even a Fredrin, right? So this is going to be a Lord, most likely going to the hands of RRQ once again, unless Burmese Ghouls can do something about it. But even Sox are just trying to get some of this vision. Yeah. Blink waiting patiently as well. Still, Lord, less than half health here. They might try to make it a miracle play if they can pull it off. Stitch positioning here is going to be crucial as they approach this. But right now, RRQ, yeah, Delar taking a ton of damage. He's kind of out of the picture, so now the numbers in the advantage for RRQ, and that's going to be the Lord going in their hands. There's nothing Burmese Ghouls could do with that, considering the fact that Delar had to go back to heal up.
Yeah, the presence of mind, too, of like Octa and Skylar, to think that they had their eyes on the Lord. And they were also keeping Delar in check, right? He was trying to go for the mid tower, and RRQ Hoshi knows that. They have all the space that they get, so if they actually took Delar down there, that wouldn't have been a big thing. But for RRQ Hoshi, right, they've gotten everything secured. They got all these beefy front line to kind of contain that Lord pit. And you see how Skylar was chunking it out real fast, too. So at this point, everybody has everything that they got, to the point that Iran's already chunking up all of the damage. Gets tugged in, though.
Wow. Iran already taking a ton of damage. Immortality going to be popped. Blink as well. Still has his. Can they pull it off? Look at the damage. Delar going to be taken out really quickly. Skylar on the backside still going. Lord's still going to be up here. They want all the kills before they end the game. It's a triple for Skylar, and they take the series in a sweep, sending Burmese Ghouls out of the tournament.